Mr. eCash back with another video, guys. This is part 2 out of a 3-part video series that I'm doing here on my channel discussing how you can set up a Get Paid To website. So if you don't know anything about the world of GPT or Get Paid To, it is a way that you can do simple tasks online to come up with gift cards, PayPal cash, cryptocurrencies. You know, in many cases you can make anywhere between 50 to 100 or a little more every single month from just a single website. I currently host a website just like this. I built this myself from the ground up. I've built this myself, and I want to share with you guys how you can do this for yourself to where you can have some passive income without ever having to use a website like this. So guys, today we're talking about WordPress. We need to go over to the screen in my computer. There's so many things that we have to get into, and I want to keep this intro right here very, very short so we can just hop into the very useful information that you need to know. So guys, let's get started.
Have you been looking for easy ways to make money online? Welcome to ECashsociety. Bitcoin talk, mining rig tutorials, and paying smartphone applications all in one location.
Alright, so I want to try and make this as simple as I possibly can for you guys. I don't want to, stress you guys out with all of the information that's involved with this and make you think that this is totally impossible. It's way too complicated because I've noticed that with YouTube videos that center around website creation, setting up a website or an application, it becomes very, very confusing once you put all of this information together, and most people don't like to follow 40,000 different steps to do something like this. They just want to have the basic information to get them started and then kind of experiment from there. If you're anything like me, I don't want to have to sit through 45 minutes of conversation and 45,000 different steps just to be able to do something. Everybody is different. I guess people that are really into programming, they are able to sit still for long periods of time and study this information. But getting on point here with a few different things, guys. If you come over to Namecheap, this is where you can pick up the name of your website. If you notice here, I have generated a kind of a random domain that centers around what I would consider to be a Get Paid To type of website. So I picked the name freegiftspot.com here. I feel like this is pretty on point for setting up a website like this. You want to have a website that has the appearance of offering someone something. If they are to come to the website, they may get something. I may go ahead and purchase the name of this because it's actually a pretty decent name that you could possibly sell to a person in the future. That's a completely different topic in itself. We could go into that, how you can accumulate these domain names and then sell them to people. But staying on point here, once you have figured out what you want your website to be called here, and I really recommend that you guys spend at least 3 days to a week thinking about this. Really put some thought into what you want your website to be called. I should say this, websites like Perk and Swagbucks did not probably come up with their names of their websites within a 24-hour interval. They probably got together and really thought about what would draw an audience to what they were trying to promote. So with that being said, guys, you've got the name of your website, you purchased the name of your website, you're going to want to then go about getting your hosting for your website. So if you come over here to this is the only 2 websites I would recommend. I'll say this starting out. There's only 2 places I would recommend that you get your hosting. One of them is called Bluehost. The other is called SiteGround. I've had experience with other hosting websites. Some of them I haven't. But as far as the ones that I have had experience with that have been good to me overall, these are the 2 that I would recommend. Probably Bluehost before I would recommend SiteGround, though SiteGround has been fantastic so far. Their support system has been nothing less than top-notch. They have always tried to help me with any minor issue that I've had. So once you come over to SiteGround, if you're choosing SiteGround, you're going to want to set up your account and then you're going to apply for your hosting. There's various different plans that you can choose from. I am going to leave that totally up to you because I want to focus more on WordPress. If you've already made up your mind that you're going to do this, you're willing to make the investment of picking up your domain name and picking up your hosting, and you're going to need to know what to do with WordPress. So let's just say hypothetically you have gotten your hosting. There's one step that you're going to have to complete with Namecheap and your hosting service to get this all set up, and that is to put in your name servers. Over here into Namecheap, you will have to put in your name servers. And for obvious reasons, I'm not going to go over and show you guys my name servers for my website for obvious reasons. But it's a very simple thing to do. You can actually talk to SiteGround. You can talk to their chat, their support system, and they will guide you. Namecheap will also guide you and help you as to where to put those name servers in. And guys, the one thing I can do is go ahead and show you this really quickly. I'll point you in the direction for right here where it's at in Namecheap. I'll have to come over here to my account really quick. Let's see, right here, dashboard. And we will say this, whenever you come over here to manage your site name, that is where you can put in your name server. So to help you guys out a little bit here. Now, getting to the focal point of what I feel like this video is all about, this is what I really want to show you guys exactly what you need to do once you have your hosting, once you have your domain name. The biggest step that's involved here is to either A, if you have a talent for coding, then you really are probably, you've already clicked past this video. But if you don't, then this is what's really going to help you out here. You're going to set up your theme. Once you have gotten WordPress set up, you're going to, of course, you will go to WordPress.com. You'll set up your WordPress account. And I'll say this really quickly as well. Over in SiteGround, where you have your hosting, there is a link in your control panel. It's easy to make it over to your control panel. You can go directly into setting up WordPress right there in SiteGround, your hosting location in that control panel. So that is a very simple task to complete. But once you're here in WordPress, it's as simple as logging in. Of course, you're going to have your login credentials that you have once you have set up your account. And once you are logged in, you're going to have a various amount of options to work with your website. Now, this is what I recommend, guys. If you look over here at the themes section under appearance, you can pick out a theme that you feel like would match what you want your website to really kind of get across to people. You know, you could pick a basic theme. They have free themes and they also have paid themes. I currently have a paid theme. I opted to put you know, more effort and more of my finances into this website to make it something better overall. And that's really what I recommend. I would recommend that you guys go ahead and invest in one of these themes that you can pay for. They unlock quite a few different options. They make things it makes it so much more simple to work with a website like this by having a theme like this. So I currently have the high-end theme. It's the most widely known and commonly used theme that's in WordPress. This is the most popular one. So once you have your theme, you'll have a basic kind of shell of your website. Now, these are the simple things to get across to you guys. We'll come back over here to the dashboard for a second right after this, but I want to show you this very specifically. Once you are on your website and you have your theme, it is very easy to start working with your website. So you'll have up here at the top, you will have Edit with WP Bakery Page Builder. So if you notice this here, Edit with WP Bakery Page Builder, this will unlock a variety of different options for you to work with each of the pages of your site. You can edit information as you see fit. So with that being said, you're here, you're working with your web pages here. You can put in information. It's kind of basically, it scales everything down to a widget status. So you can work with all of this variety of different widgets here. Let me show you guys here. Okay, so add an element. You've got all of these different elements that you can add in. If you're trying to add in some raw HTML, if there's some code that you would like to pull and put over on your website, if you would like to put in custom text, you can add in custom text. If you want to add a video in, you can add some video footage in here. There's so many different things that you could do right here with WP Bakery that make this so much more simple for yourself. So with that being said, you have an idea for how you're going to sit here and work with the layout of your website all together. Let's come over here to some more, kind of a little bit more in-depth information. So we're going to exit out of that. We're going to come over here to the dashboard once again. If you notice, you have your themes here, you have your widgets, and you have your menus. So this is what we're going to be talking about here. Let this load up really quickly. Okay, so down here in your plugins section, you can add a variety of different plugins. I really recommend that you check this out, but be very, very careful, because if these plugins are not up to date for your version of WordPress, they can have a variety of different issues with your website and just cause you a massive amount of headache putting some of these plugins in, and they can interfere with other plugins. So this is something to handle very, very carefully once getting started with these plugins. If you wanted to add a chat system to your website, if you wanted to add something that surrounds cryptocurrencies, you could consider a cryptocurrency-based plugin. But once again, I will stress to be very, very careful. Now let's come over here to appearance once again. Let's go over to customize. Whenever you go to customize, this is another way that you can sit here and work with the appearance of your website. There's a variety of different things that you can do here. So these are all things that you're going to have to work with yourself. Now I can show you where the basic outline for where everything is out here, but you're still going to have to work with this yourself and learn and study. This is why I feel like it's something you don't really hop into very quickly. But the payoff for this scenario is so great to have this money in your pocket on a monthly basis and just not have to put forth very much effort at all whatsoever. And I really want to stress that it's not as complicated as what you would think. So you could spend up to a week studying this and be ready to go ahead and crunch out a website like this. I have no doubt in my mind that you could do this. So if you notice here, you've got your menus, you've got your widgets. Let's go over to site identity, because I feel like this is a big one. If you notice, when you go to search a website, it has its logo. If you've created your custom logo like we talked about in the first part of this video series, then that is what's going to help you out right here to go ahead and have that appearance online whenever someone clicks your website. Okay, this is set up, it's the way it needs to be. There is one thing I do want to talk about at the end of this video as well. We'll touch topic on that, and that is how you can secure your website. A lot of these hosting providers, they come with this already, and it's a free service. Some of them, they will charge you to have your secure certificate for your website. So that maybe is something you're not really going to have to worry about. Okay, so once you have checked out like how you can work with your WordPress website in this section of WordPress, really you don't have to do much in this area, because you can already do so much with working with WP Bakery. Guys, whenever we get into the offer wall portion of setting up this website, this is where you guys are probably going to thank me the most, because that is easily the most complicated aspect of all of this, and I'm going to show you guys a way to bypass that entirely to make it something simple for yourself. So let's get on to like some final topics here. If you see here, you have your widgets. You can go and you can work with your widgets in the widgets option here. I'll show you that really quickly. You can drag and drop these widgets, and they will show up in various locations on your website. So if you would like to add, let's just say, for example, something that's currently on my website that I feel like is somewhat useful here. Let's find one that I feel like is very, very useful. Okay, so here's a few that are pretty useful. They make up, they help with the appearance of this website overall. If you see, I have HB themes, Facebook like box, a contact info widget, and a few different things that center around PHP BB, which is the forum for my website, and we can talk about that very quickly as well. We're going to have to make this pretty quick here because I don't want this to be super long. PHP BB, that's the forum that's on my website. It's somewhat complicated to get that integrated, so we will just bypass that, and that's something that you guys could study on your own. I will show you PHP BB before we end this video, though. Coming over here to the menu section here of WordPress, if you look, whenever you come to the front page of my website, you see that I have a variety of different pages. And each one of these is a drop-down menu. We'll say that. You can add these to where they are a drop-down menu. Whenever you go to set up the pages for WordPress, let's see if we can come up here. And if you look here, you have your pages. So you'll create a page. you'll have a brand new page. You can go to add new. You'll get the link to your page itself once you have created the page and the information and you've worked with it with WP Bakery. You've added in a custom image. You've added in your text, your information. Then you're going to come over to add that page into this menu. So if you'll notice here over on the left, so we have a down for maintenance page, we have browser mining, we've got payment proofs, we have all of these various different pages here. And each one of these can be added over here into each one of these drop-down menu structures. So let me show you this really quickly. Like, I know this is going to help you guys out that are just getting into this. I know it for a fact. So you can see all of the pages right here that currently compose my website, and you can also go to add new right here. So let's just say hypothetically we're creating a brand new page. You're going to create the title for your page. Let's just say test page 1. And if you notice here, you can come over to publish. Once you have published this page, then you're going to have a link that you can copy. So you could take that, let's just say hypothetically, coming over to my website, you've got that link that you want to have on your website to go to a very specific page. You come over here to edit with WP Bakery Page Builder, and you want to have a link that goes to something that's very, very important that you really want to stress to your audience here. I'm going to show you guys very quickly. So right here, we're on the front page of my website. Let's just say that we wanted to redirect someone over to the login portion of the website itself. I know we've got to get going here. We're going to have to close this out pretty soon. But it's so much useful information that I could go into. Now, I'm trying to keep it very, very simple for you guys. If you notice here, I do have AdSense Media. The links to my Watch and Earn page are right here behind this image. You can take an image and add an image by adding media in right here. You can add this media in, and of course, you can then take this and turn it into a link. So if you notice here, you have this edit portion right here. You've got a link section up here, insert and edit link. So you can edit the link to go to a very specific page that you just created. This is fundamental information right here. It's going to help you guys along the way quite a bit, I'm sure. So yeah, so you've got the image that you'd like to have a link set up as a link. Boom, there you've got your link. It looks great. You've got that going for yourself as far as your appearance. Let's talk about that really quickly. There's so many things I could go into. As far as like the color scheme of your website, you want to choose a color scheme. You want to keep that as on point all across your website as you possibly can, because if you're trying to get AdSense, I told you guys we would talk about this a little bit. If you would like to have AdSense advertisements with Google on your website, for them to even remotely consider having their advertisements on your website, you're going to have a very structured, a very polished, and nice looking overall, pleasant to the eyes website for them to come to, and when they review it, they see that you really know what you're doing. You've got good information there, and your website looks like it's going to be something that's beneficial as far as having their advertisements on your website. So we'll probably talk about that a little more here on ECashsociety Tech Talks, about how you set up AdSense onto your website, and how you're going to integrate that onto your website. We'll do that in the future. I believe for the most part, that's really everything that I could go into depth with that I feel like is really important. I'll show you guys the forum really quickly, and I'll tell you guys exactly where you can go to get this forum if you would like to go ahead and try and integrate this into your website. If you want this set up on your website, PHP BB, it has a variety of different options as far as working with PHP BB. This is probably the most comprehensive forum system that you could have on your website, other than creating something custom out of code. So this is as good as it gets without having to get into the world of programming and writing script. So all of the options that you have with PHP BB are just phenomenal. So that's another video in itself. This is just a basic tutorial for how you guys can get started with WordPress. You know, once again, I'll say right here at the end of this video, guys, if you haven't seen part 1 of this, you definitely want to check that out first. The final video that we're going to have here up on the channel is going to talk specifically about how you're going to integrate these offer walls, applying for these offer walls, when you should apply for these offer walls, to partner with these advertising companies, to have these advertisements on your website. You know, just we'll go as in-depth as we possibly can with integration and how I was able to do this for myself. And yeah, guys, so I believe that's pretty much it. I hope that this helps somebody out there to get their start here. I will say on a very final note, do not rush into this. Take your time. Before you would even go about integrating an offer wall onto your website, you want to establish your website. Put some time and some effort into the web pages. Try to make them look good. Offer some real information for people that's really going to help them out in the future. And once they see that you've done that, and along the way here, once you start to rank your website up in Google, we may talk a little bit about that in the following video because we're just out of time here. But once you have done that specifically, guys, it's going to have these major payoffs. That's all I can really say. I hope you guys have found some useful information out of this video. If there's anything you felt like I have left out, maybe we could possibly do a follow-up video for WordPress in the future. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comments below. I don't mind to sit here and answer some questions you might have, especially if you already have a WordPress website and you're struggling with WordPress. I have a decent amount of talent for creating websites just like this. So guys, yeah, I will see you in the next video.
That's right, you've been looking for easy ways to make money online. And from here, guys, you can check out some more of my content on my YouTube channel via the links on either side of me, or you can head over to my website and start making money immediately with my website and learning more ways to make money online. And guys, as always, like, comment, and subscribe.